Having a little bit of green tea. I like what the theanine does to my brain. But what I want to talk about today is racism, discrimination, or anything that makes you think that you're better than somebody else. I like to use the example of, say, somebody in a wheelchair. You think you don't discriminate against color, maybe. Maybe you say, I'm not a racist. But do people in wheelchairs get in your way? Think about that. You don't need to answer to me. But answer to yourself. Just stop for a second and think to yourself, every time you've ever come to contact with a handicapped person that's in a wheelchair or something like that, or you go someplace to go shopping and you see a handicapped space and you get angry because you wish you could park there. Just think about that for a second. That's the purest form of discrimination. You are putting your needs over the needs of someone that may not even have legs. Racism is no different. It's the same thing. It's a lack of empathy for another person. The person in the wheelchair is not asking for your pity. I don't pity a handicapped person, but I have empathy for them. And that's what they deserve, is our empathy, right? They don't want you to stand out in the street and go, hey, there's a handicapped space right here. They can handle it. They can handle it because the government saw that it was important to give them a space right next to the business so they didn't have to go a football field to get to where they're going in the predicament that they're in. It's their choice to park there or to park elsewhere. Some people may be in a wheelchair and like the exercise. Maybe they've been in the house all day, need some arm exercise. These are all things called empathy. Using your mind to turn off your own thoughts and turn on theirs. To take a moment and walk in their shoes, put on their eyeglasses, walk into their home and smell their home and eat their food, try on their clothes. This is empathy. Empathy is stepping outside of yourself and leaving all of yourself behind. Not keeping some of yourself so that you could still think about yourself and how it relates. Get rid of all of that. Empathy is completely walking in their shoes so that you feel like them. You are them. You are them. And then you're back to yourself and you're meeting them. How are you going to treat them now? Now, this is the ultimate character. Your moral compass and character will determine what happens next. Example would be, if you simply want to continue, like most people today who have turned off their emotions, switch. And by doing that, it allows them to get annoyed by the person in the wheelchair. It allows them to get annoyed that the parking space right in front of the liquor store has a big picture of a handicapped man in a chair on it. And they can't park there. Some people will still do that, and they get a ticket. That's why that ticket exists. That's how disrespectful they are to the theory of what we're talking about here today. Empathy is about seeing it through another person's world, through their eyes. Because your eyes aren't the only ones. Christians need to accept the fact that there's no segregation in heaven. Some of the most racist people on the planet are religious. And every one of those religions accepts all races. Yet they continue to be racist. Because they don't want to have to stop and think for a moment about the pain their hatred is causing for these other races, which is a word I hate. I don't know why. I just hate the word race. Races. Other people who have different skin tones and different creeds that live all over the world and have basically all come to America to create the mixing pot, which is the ultimate race. There should only be one race. That should be the use of the word, right? One race. We are all the human race. The human race. We are human. The color of my skin should have no impact on the career I choose. The color of my skin should have no impact on you or me. But it does. And I'm here to say, as a white man with long hair who is left-handed, that people discriminate. I'm 6'7". People look at me and, wow, that guy's tall. And then if I take my hat off and shake my hair out, they're like, oh, that guy's tall with long hair. He's got a problem. What is he, gay? What is he, a weirdo? Is he a hippie? Is he a drug dealer? What the hell? What's going on? All judgments. Judgments so they don't actually have to ask me anything about who I am. They need to have an immediate answer to who I am. And so I get judged. When a person of any skin color walks into the same establishment, the same thing happens instantly. Instantly, though. They didn't even have to wait to take their hat off to shake their hair out. Their skin color got them judged instantly. Why do you think so many people have so many tattoos? These are people who, in my opinion, as wrong as I may be, are basically saying, bring it. Bring it on. Judge me. Bring it on. Judge me. I will engage you in a conversation that will blow your mind. Most of the people that I know that have lots of tattoos are very, very intelligent and deep thinkers to a certain extent. And most of them have had some sort of traumatic childhood incident that I think has made them want to yell it at you, like dyeing your hair color, piercings. These are all forms of expression. We do not like to be forced into a box without emotion. So whether we're doing it or not, racism is a form of that. So we all have to have a way to vent our frustrations and our angers. Some of us choose to do it when someone pisses us off. Some of us choose to do it when we see a different skin color because it's just something different. But none of it has any real merit because no one is slowing down long enough to use empathy and to put their feet into somebody else's shoes. And you know what's the most amazing part of that old saying? I have a size 14 and a half, close to a 15 shoe, my foot. And let's say yours is a 7 and a half. I can't even get my foot in your shoe. And you can put your foot in my shoe while wearing your shoe. How's that for empathy? It should blow my mind that I can't even get my foot in your shoe. That's how different your world is. Shopping for clothing and shoes and going to concerts and people are taller than you wherever you go. Those are all forms of empathy. Everyone sees the world differently. And you may as well look at it as red to me is blue to you. Because that's how different everyone else's perspective is. The problem is, we're just not slowing down. No one wants to smell the roses anymore. They want to run home really quick, text you a picture of the roses, and tell you how they smell. But they didn't even stop long enough to smell them themselves. And that's the lesson that I'd like to give. Racism makes absolutely no sense. Why would anyone be racist? It's more than that. It's a deep-seated hatred of either yourself or something you have done. And your way of dealing with that is by hating somebody or something else. And the only way you can do that so you don't hate everybody, which would be pretty draining, is to label somebody. Oh, I hate dwarfs. Come on. Have you ever seen a Peter Dinklage movie? There's no difference between a dwarf and you and me. He's just shorter than you and me. That's it. I'm taller. I'm just as much a freak as Peter Dinklage is. If he's a freak for being short, then I'm a freak for being freakishly tall. I'm 6'7". That's freakishly tall. People look at me no matter where I go, be it the airport, at the store, or eating. That's freakishly tall. Very few people are as tall as I am. But we want to judge. We love to label. Heck, you'll wear a shirt and pay 3 times more money for it just because it has a label. A label that says, I spend money on this. I'm stupid. I could have gotten 4 of these if I had just bought a generic brand made out of the same material. My watch, my car, my house, it's all nicer than yours. That makes me important. I'm going to be the richest guy in the cemetery someday. And on my way there, I'm going to judge all of you because I want this money. And the only way I can take all this money is by not having any empathy for you, and you, and you, and yes, you. Yeah, you. I'm serious. All of you. So stop. Cut back on the coffee and start drinking tea. The caffeine level is just right. It's a healthy dose. Coffee delivers a dose that is unhealthy, keeps your mind stimulated. Your adrenal glands are always working. So you don't get that rush after a while. That's why people say silly things like, don't talk to me till I had my coffee. Who would live their life that way? Why would you live your life that chemically dependent upon something? I'll forget to even have a cup of tea. I drink tea because it's healthy, because it's good for the brain, the theanine. Why would I want to brag about not being myself until I had my cup of coffee? 40 cups of coffee. You're admitting to no empathy. No empathy for yourself. And last, those who know me know that I preach something that I just can't believe nobody else talks about. And that is, there's a bigger difference between me and my girlfriend than there is between me and any other man on the planet. It doesn't matter if he's 4'2", 7'9", if he's from Africa, New Zealand, Thailand, Alaska, Venezuela. It doesn't matter. I got more in common with him than I do my girlfriend. She's got a vagina. I don't have a vagina. All those other guys, they got a penis. I got a penis. She's got breasts. And unless they need some sort of plastic surgery or something, most of my buddies don't have breasts. I'm just saying, there's a bigger difference between me and my girl than there is between me and any other dude. So why am I judging dudes? The other little tidbit I like to share is, if you ever notice that no matter how racist somebody is, whatever races they hate, all of a sudden they don't hate it if it's a beautiful woman version? That would be from the male perspective. The female perspective would be a hot dude. You'll hear, oh, I don't like black men, but oh, I sure like him. Or, I don't dig black chicks, but she's hot. That chick is hot. What is that? That's blatant excuse. You're blatantly admitting that you're really not even racist. You just admitted you're not racist. You're looking for an excuse to hate somebody. You're labeling somebody. Because all of a sudden, a beautiful woman, your testosterone says, I don't care about that. Because you're not racist? Because you're not using empathy. And when it's a beautiful woman, what did your brain do? It saw a nice body, it saw breasts, it saw lips to kiss, it smelled breath, it saw a booty, long legs, whatever. It saw those things and used empathy to make you want it. So next time you get mad at somebody that's a different race, different creed than you, and I use the word creed to mean another religion, like say you're a Christian and you meet a Muslim, next time that happens, next time you're confronted in that situation, Use empathy. Stop and think for a minute. Think about their history, their country, the way they probably got treated all day long today. Why do I say this? Am I saying it because I just want everybody to be good and kind to everyone? Well, of course. But at the same time, it's going to make you happier. Walking around finding people to hate. My God. Walk around and find people to love. Love. Love.